Okay, so this is going to be in kind of an introduction to the proportions of the head for portrait drawing. And there's going to be different perspectives. The perspectives that I am going to do are when you're face to face with someone. So when you're at eye level with them. If you're above them or below them, that's a whole different class. So I'm going to first do frontal. This isn't going to look like a portrait. This is just how I set up the proportions. So I'm going to make an oval. And that's going to be like how I start my drawing. Of course, this would be bigger if I was doing a portrait, but I'm just trying to fit a few on this page, maybe only 2. So I'm starting with kind of an oval, and this will be changed. I'm not pressing hard with the pencil. I'm going to divide here in half. And here in half. These lines will later be erased. I'm going to divide here in half. And then I'm going to divide the whole picture in half. Then I'm going to divide this bottom part in half. Sometimes I go a little bit above the half mark, and I'm going to divide this part in half. So right here is where the eyeballs would be. And I'm going to make an eye right here. This is just to get the features in the right place. We'll do a separate video on features. I'm trying to make it the correct size. Okay, now here, here, and here. So in between the eyes, so why was I measuring? So in between the eyes fits the exact shape of an eye. And this is pretty close, so I'm not going to change it. So that's a way to see if you put them the right distance apart, okay? If you go down from here, the tear duct, you get to the side of the nose. Okay, that's where the nose fits in. Comes up here, here's an eyebrow. Again, this is not really going to look like a person. It's just getting the proportions in the right place. Okay, now if you go down from the eyeball, where this hits this line, that's going to be the side of the mouth. So this kind of looks like an egghead right now, but we'll fix it. So I'm putting kind of the top lip on top of the line and the bottom lip okay. Now here's the chin. I just lowered the chin a little bit. So what am I adding right now? I'm kind of adding a shape to the face, and that's different for everybody, but usually you're seeing kind of a bone stick out here, comes in, and you see kind of a chin. I elongated the circle a little bit. And then the neck is right here. Okay, so it's starting to look more like kind of like a head, right? Then in between these 2 lines is where you're going to see the ear. In between these 2 lines is where you're going to see the ear. And it looks like the forehead is really big, but that's because we see hair. We either see a hairline or we'll see bangs. So like say this person had bangs. maybe some hair hanging down here. Okay, so that's, I mean, I'm not really defining this face, but that's how you would get the things in the right place. It's important to have things in the right place first before you work on drawing a portrait. For example, a lot of people put the eyes too high. So I'm just going to define this a little bit, and it's not really like a finished portrait drawing or anything, but just to give you an idea. And we'll go more into detail on the features later. Putting in some hair. And I would erase these lines underneath. I'm not going to erase them now because this is just for practice. Okay, so I'm going to put in the eyes. Again, this is just a sketch, but just so you could see how the features would look. And the nose. There's a lot more you could add, like shading and the features could be more detailed, but that's the general proportions of a frontal face. Now here I'm going to do profile. So I'm going to make an oval. Again, same way, I'm starting in the same way. And then I'm going to actually, let me change that. I'm going to again go half or a little bit above half, a little bit above the halfway mark there, and a little bit above here. So this is where the nose is going to be. I'm going to start with the nose. Profile is maybe a little bit easier. So the oval's going to disappear. Then here's the forehead. The lips are going to go right here. And they look different. We'll go over that more in the features. And that looks really weird, so I'm going to pull in a chin. And then up here, is where the eye goes. Remember, it's hitting kind of like the end of the nose. So there's the eye. We'll go over that a little bit more later. The ear is between the same two lines. And neck is coming out this way. This looks like, so when someone's in profile, I started with an oval, but the back of their skull takes up a lot more space over here. So I'm going to put in some hair. Okay, and maybe a little bit more up here. And this is still just kind of a sketch. So there you're having a profile sketch. And again, you would erase all the lines underneath and then add whatever else you needed to add. Shading. Okay, so that's a profile sketch. And then I'm going to go into the next one, which is going to be 3/4. I'm going to start with an oval. Okay, this is when a person it's in between frontal and profile. So it's like you're kind of seeing the person in frontal and you're kind of seeing them in profile. So I'm making a line right here. So 3/4 is 3/4 over here and 1/4 over here. However, it could be any different view. They could be looking this way. It could be 5/6. It could be 2/3. It could be whatever fraction of the face you see here and here. And the dividing line is where kind of the nose is. And then I'm going to go about halfway, another halfway, and another halfway. I'm going to come so the nose is like you're kind of seeing a profile right here. But then sometimes, depending on how the person is turned, you see a little bit of the nostril peeping out over here, right? But it's at an angle. Okay, I start with the nose and then I put in an eyebrow. And then this eye over here is hidden by the nose. And then I'm going to use this mark again to start this eye. Still looks kind of like a sun right now, but, or a face on the moon. Okay, now what's different about the eyes? So I'm going to start the mouth. Okay, and okay, so let me just do something right here really quick. So if a regular eye, say you make a regular eye on an axis like this, well, if it's turned this way, you would see like it would be at a little different angle, right? So here's your central eyeball, right? But then the eyeball this way would seem smaller because the eye is turned. And same thing with the lips. So for regular lips, if you made them on an axis, they would be like this. But then in this perspective, and it could change, you could change this mark to the other side if they were looking the other way. The lips are going to seem shorter on this side and longer on this side. I'm making, this is the shape, like, so when someone's in 3/4, you're seeing their bone structure. You're seeing their cheekbone come out and their chin. I'm going to erase some of this. Okay, this still needs a little bit of work. The ear is about right here. And then you're seeing their face, like their jawbone come up here. And then there's more like area of skull over here as well. So neck is about here. And then kind of looks a little weird. I'm just trying to see, do I want to make this more at an angle? Okay, let's take a look at the eyes. That eye doesn't look quite right. I'm going to bring it out a little bit more and have it only slightly hidden by the nose. So that looks a bit better. Then I'm going to bring in an eyebrow. For right now, I'm just going to kind of shade it in. What's looking weird to me? I'm just trying to see the mouth maybe a little off. So I'm just fixing everything that I think is off. So again, the edges of the mouth come to under the eyeball. I made the mouth too long. I think that was it. I was trying to make it 3/4, but I kind of exaggerated the length of it. There we go. That looks a lot better. Not perfect at all, but a little bit better. And then usually you're seeing a line right here where the chin is sticking out. Okay. So that's my start, and that would be 3/4. Again, you could have her turning the other way. You could have, same for a man or a woman, you could have her at a different angle, 2/3, 5/6. I recommend practicing with a lot of different angles.